Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Canis Major video blog. I'm Phil Grove, and each week we go through a case study of a multifamily real estate investment transaction deal or lesson learned here in the great state of Texas. This week we have a very special case study being presented by one of our sponsors at the Canis Major Incubator, Siva Palchuru, who's going to talk about a project called the Elam Townhomes. Siva, do I have you on the line?
Yes, sir. I'm on the line.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy. Let's talk us about this deal.
Sure. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present this deal. This apartment complex is called Elam Townhomes, located in Bald Spring, Texas, which is just east of Dallas. And giving my background, my name is Siva Palchuru. I did my PhD in chemistry back home in India, and then I came over here to do the postdoc at Texas A&M. I did another postdoc at Rice University, and then I moved to the environmental consulting side. And then after working for a few years, I started my own business, ran the successful environmental consulting company, sold that company to a publicly traded company, started investing in commercial real estate since 2008. I started working with Phil and Chenova since 2015 and became a sponsor of Canis Major Incubator in January 2017. This is the property where it is located. These are the 2 buildings out of the 4 buildings of Elam Townhomes. It's actually 8-plex. Each building is 8-plex, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side, and the parking lot is in the middle. As you all see that this is East Dallas, which is close to 635 and I-20. And I acquired this property in 2010 at short sale. The reason why I used short sale is we bought the note and then we foreclosed on subsequently foreclosed on the seller as a friendly foreclosure, so it's actually simply deed transfer. It consists of 32 townhome units, which was built in 1984 with a slab foundation. 16 of them are 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 975 square feet, rent for $500 per month. And 16 units with 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 795 square feet rents with 475 rents. Both units has washer and dryer connections. And on exterior and interior wide, this property requires everything. That means the roof, the exterior, the groundwork, the landscaping, interior, everything. What you have seen in the picture is actually after rehab. So the picture don't represent the actual thing in 2010 when I bought it. The tenants were not even qualified tenants. The owner is actually in desperate need as an out-of-town owner and basically didn't know how to run the operations simply because he was using 8 units out of 32 as a storage of his personal stuff, which is basically 25% of the units. He is using it as a storage unit. I think these are much more monthly income generating units, but that is the path that he took. So after I went through my due diligence and this property, so how I came to know about this property, actually I was looking at a house in Bald Springs, but I stumbled upon this apartment complex on the way into that house. Then actually after I finished the due diligence on that house, I came back and took a deeper look at it on the afternoon. And then the next
and Siva, I guess we call that driving for dollars, which we always do.
That's correct. This is exactly for driving for dollars, because I was actually going for another pre-foreclosure property in Bald Springs, which I came across with a friend of mine. His friend is going over the foreclosure process, so we are trying to stop that foreclosure. So I'm just inspecting that house, and this I came across, and I said, this is not my first one. So I just went and looked at the house first, and then I came back, and subsequently the next 3 days I actually spent on this property than anything else. So I actually, filed a very comprehensive paperwork on this, all the things that was wrong on the property, and I actually sent the letter to the lender who is in California, along with my supporting documents. And I allowed 3 days for them to receive because I sent it by express mail. And then I contacted the lender, and the lender actually told me that he would be happy to meet with me at the property the next following Monday, so that we both can go through. Of course, that was his routine visit. That actually played towards my luck. So it made things to go much faster than expected. And also at that time, he asked me, am I actually ready to close the property if they take the decision? And I showed him the proof of funds where I don't have to borrow from anyone. I was cash strong enough. So I sent him the proof of funds, so everything came out. So within a month, the transaction has been closed. They sold the note for $320,000, which has face value of $880,000. That means I bought this note at a 32 cents on approximately 36 cents on a dollar. After that, my attorney and I myself continued to send the foreclosure proceedings to the owner, and who is initially he was in denial. After a few repeated letters and calls, he then realized that it's real and wanted to bail him out. So we gave him an alternative proposal saying that we will do the friendly foreclosure, which is a deed transfer. And and he agreed to that. So subsequently, we foreclosed on him in March 2011. So we took over the operations in March 2011. And since we are already going there and looking at this, so we have a very good estimate of all repairs that needs to be done. Also, a plan of action, what needs to be getting done in which order. So we immediately didn't waste any time. We started working on all 4 buildings, exterior and interior. So exterior-wise, we fixed up, repaired the foundation first. Almost on one building, we lifted almost 1 foot. Total of 65 plumbing leaks under the foundation has been fixed. Some of them are active water. Most of them are sewer. Also, we replaced all 32 HVAC units, inside and outside. And we also put in the brand new roof. So the replaced exterior stucco, some places where it is actually falling apart. We repaired the parking lot. We graded the soil so that the water will move out of the building rather than come into the building. And we also put in the new signage. So that means I basically made all the things that needs to be done. So that plan at that time, I would like to own this property for 10 years. And that's why I did every repair that goes along for 10 years. So, and it took us 12 months to get everything done. Once the renovation is done with all new HVAC units, as I mentioned to you that he was using 8 units for his personal storage and 6 of them were vacant at that time. So moving forward to 2012, we started increasing the rents, and at that time, our total gross rents were $16,000 per month compared to $4,750 when we started. The operational expenses were stabilized at $8,000 per month compared to $9,000 when we started with him. Stabilized NOI is at this point of time $96,000. So we felt very confident. So we approached the bank and we refinanced the property in 2012. And then we refinanced it at $575,000. And my total cost in this is my purchase price technically is $320,000. And then my renovation cost and cost of negative cash flow and all the other minor improvements that we did and major improvements that we did is $180,000. So my all-in cost was $500,000. Whenever we do the refinancing or financing, it always costs money. So my refinancing costed me $25,000, which includes the new appraisal, new inspection report, new land origination cost and all that. and everything is paid at the time. And I pocketed out $50,000 cash into my pocket. Since I did not sell this property at the time, so that $50,000 I pocketed out is tax-free, sorry.
So Siva, let me just summarize where we are so far.
Okay.
You found this property driving for dollars. You wanted to buy it, but the seller didn't want to sell it. So you talked to the lender, and the lender had a non-performing loan. Basically, they were not getting paid on their mortgage. So you offered to just buy the note, and you got them to sell it to you at a huge discount, 36 cents on the dollar, which is not all that uncommon because at that point it was a non-performing note that the lender wanted to get off of their books. So you took that non-performing note and you went back to the owner and you said, okay, now I'm the bank. Now I'm going to continue the foreclosure. And at that point, the owner said, you know what, let's just do this friendly. I'll just deed the house, or I'm sorry, the property, the townhouses over to you. And you basically now own the property, cents on the dollar. And then you went ahead and made all these improvements. And within less than 2 years, you own the, you've made the improvements, and you're doing a refi to get all of your money back. In fact, you got all of your money back plus $75,000 less $25,000 expenses. Essentially, you put $50,000 tax-free in your pocket, and you still own the property, and now it's making you money every month. Is that a pretty good summary of everything that happened so far?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
All right. And, well, then what happened now?
Thank you very much, Phil, for summarizing that. So after that, we still continue to improve the operations. And in 2014, we felt very good that the property actually appreciated very much because we increased the rents by $100 per month on each unit. Basically, that increased $3,200 per month, which is $36,000 per year. That's on a 10 cap, that itself is $360,000. So we approached a different bank this time, and they felt very good at it, and they actually approved the loan for $875 this time. So the previous loan amount was $575 minus the principal, so principal balance was $550, and the refinance loans were $25,000. So out of $875, my previous loan, including the new loan cost, was paid at $575. So we could able to take out another $300,000 chunk of cash as tax-free from this property because we improved the NOI from $96,000 to $120,000 per year. And even at that time, with the new debt in place, the property is still cash flowing $2,000 a month. So this is the second step that we took. So now at this point, by 2014, we took $350,000 in total as tax-free money from this property. So in 2017, we felt very good again because we continued to improve the operations. So now the rents has been increased to $775 and $675. This happened in 2017 January. We put in a new loan from Freddie Mac for the amount of $1.165 million, and we pulled out another $300,000 in cash. At this time, the NOI is $140,000. And at this time, the net cash flow after the new debt service was $3,000. And the reason we could able to do this is because our new debt is costing me less than the previous debt. Previous debt was at 5%. Now we borrowed more money at a less cost. So it is 4.64. Plus, the previous loan was a recourse loan, and this is a non-recourse loan. That's a huge advantage of this. And at the time of the Freddie Mac refinancing time, the property actually applies it to $1.9 million. So the current loan is $1.165. The equity built in the property is $735,000. That is totally different from the cash that we pulled out from this property at this time by $650,000 as tax-free. And also the gross revenues at this time was $22,000 per month, expected to increase to $23,000 because at this point of time we are renting at $895 per month on a 2-bedroom and a $795 for 1-bedroom. At this point, after 8 months of operation, the property is cash flowing at $4,000 a month. So we continue to own this property today, operating it to be a good cash flowing property. So what we are,
Siva, let me just so my summary is you basically got all of your money back. You put $650,000 in cash in your pocket, tax free. So you got zero money invested. You got $650,000 cash in your pocket, tax free. You still own it, and it's making you $4,000 a month. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
I'm very jealous of you.
That's why I call this as my, I know, everybody else also, but that's why I call this as my ATM machine. So whenever I need money, also by looking at it, it has still $735,000 equity. So if I need some more couple of $100,000, I actually can go back and refinance this and take another chunk of money. So it's actually priming up to that level. And also, I'm not worried about the leverage because my equity is increasing, my cash flow is increasing, and so that's why I'm very confident that this is a good cash flowing property. So basically, there are three things that I want to let you know. Not only we bought the property at a discounted rate, it's actually generating me an infinite returns, and also I could able to generate nearly about $650,000 as tax-free money, which went into my other investments. That's it, Phil. Unless you have any questions, I would be.
Well, I'm mobile right now, doing this from my mobile office. The audio is working all right. That's an unbelievable story. I did ask you earlier, did you have some lessons learned or lessons you can teach from this whole example?
Yes, there are a couple of lessons that the lessons learned is this is my first purchase of the note, and also the one that I actually foreclosed on that. Yes, it is actually much easier to buy a commercial note than a single family home. Because it puts a lot of pressure on the banks when the non-performing note is sitting on their books. Also, it is easier to foreclose on a commercial property than a single family because commercial property he's an investor. So a lot of rules and regulations that goes with the single family homeowner protection are not at all applied here because he's in a different bracket because this is an investment property. So that is a lesson that we learned, and this is the lessons that we can teach is for all of the people who are hearing this video. It is easier for all of you to go back and buy a discounted note for a commercial property, and you guys can actually foreclose a commercial property. And we also did because of the knowledge we have acquired on the property, we could able to set up the processes in place. So the rehab was actually on time and on budget. There was no surprises for us at this property because we already have a very good understanding of what are all the unknowns. And we could able to achieve the infinite return with a positive cash flow through this property. And we repositioned the property at several times and pulled out chunks of cash at different levels with time period. This property also taught us not to be afraid of any big rehab projects. We would be actually attracted to more and more towards the rehab projects because that's where the money is. And subsequently, we took a property in 2015, and we actually, of course, did almost a $2 million renovation on that property. And my investors and I actually made good cash on that property too.
Alrighty, I'm having a little audio problem, so Siva, sorry, I can't hear you. Are you still talking?
No, I'm
I
actually
think that
done.
was pretty much a wrap.
Yeah, that's pretty much done.
All right, sorry about that. My audio in my office here is coming in. I think we were just at a wrap. Thank you so much for presenting that amazing deal. I'm very, very jealous of that. Each week we do a case study example, or we review another deal. This was just another example of investing in commercial multifamily real estate here in Texas. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you on the next call.